studying short stories, it's always helpful to have a structure to go by and sort of a model or a guide, because the events happen so quickly in a short story, and it is different from a novel. It's very compact, and most short stories have a very typical format and typical structure, even though they can be based on different main events, different characters, and different scenarios. Okay, so one of the really helpful tools that we have to analyzing the structure, the layout, the design of a short story is Freytag's pyramid. So I'm going to play a video, one of Phil's videos. It's long. We won't be able to have the time for all of it now, but just a clip, and it'll give you a good idea of Freytag's pyramid. Plus, I also have another resource of the actual pyramid itself. And you guys are going to use this actual pyramid to study and analyze the next short story that we're doing, which is My Financial Career by Stephen Leacock. Okay, so as you're learning about Freytag's pyramid, be thinking of how you're going to apply it to this next short story. Okay, so we're going to go now to Phil's video, and I'm just going to share screen and play a clip of it for you guys. And again, it's right on the resources and very easy for you guys to find. Okay, so there we go. Okay, yeah.
All right, so we're in lesson 3 of the short fiction unit. And the title that I've given to this particular lesson is Freytag's 5 Facts of Fiction. What does that mean? Freytag was a critic who studied literature and was looking for patterns, looking for structure in literature. And he said, you know, what I'm noticing is that there are 5 steps in fiction, most fiction, just about all fiction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 steps in every story that seems to be the main structure. And so we're going to look at that. But just before we get to those 5 steps, we'll do a bit of an introduction to fiction. So I'll tell you about five other things about fiction that are true. Fiction is a made-up narrative. A narrative is another word for story. A narrative just means story. So fiction is made up. Now, completely made up? Well, maybe not. No. Where do writers' ideas come from? They come from the people they meet. They come from situations they see. But if they're just going to write down everything factually, that's going to be a newspaper article. That's going to be an essay. That's not going to be a story. It's going to be a story when they start changing, when the first idea they have or the situation they saw that gives them the idea to write a story, they'll change that situation. They'll introduce conflict. They'll introduce interesting characters. They'll add...
I'm going to speed it up a little bit into the next section. Okay, this is a good PPT that I'm going to share with you guys a little bit later. Okay, and I'm just going to zoom it up and get to Freytag's pyramid. Okay.
Then you grabbing the child and pulling them safely back onto the sidewalk. Your climax. That's the turning point, yeah? That child is saved. Phew. Shifts. Turning point. No tragedy. Falling action. Things start to fall into place. Oh, let me clear that for you. Falling action. Falling action. What follows the climax? The mother comes running out of the store. Oh, my God, my child ran away. You saved my child. Thank you so much. That's the falling action. She gives you a big hug and a $100 bill. Thank you for saving my child. That would be your resolution, where everything. You walk down the street feeling good, and the child is safe, and the mother takes the child home. That's what we use a French word sometimes, denouement.
Okay, I'm going to stop share here. Okay, so there we go. That's a brief introduction to Freytag's pyramid, and it's all sort of encompassed in that PPT. I have another resource now that I'm going to share with you that outlines the actual pyramid, okay? And as you guys were noticing too, Phil was using a little bit of the Raymond Carver short story, Popular Mechanics, to illustrate Freytag's pyramid too. Okay, so lots of good stories that we've already looked at that we can use to examine Freytag's pyramid. Okay, here we go. This is it. This is the pyramid itself. Now, again, when you guys call it up yourself, you'll be able to see a little bit, more in depth. I'm trying to make it bigger for you. But we're starting from the left-hand side with the exposition. And as Phil said, too, the exposition is the background information of the plot that includes the characters and the setting. If we look at Popular Mechanics, it did give us a little bit of background information. The weather wasn't great. It set the scene for a little bit of anxiety. It was dark. It was stormy. Again, in a short story, you have to be fast because you don't have a lot of time to sort of set it. It's going to lead right into the initial incident, and that's the inciting incident, the same thing. That's going to spark, like a small little spark that's going to ignite everything and lead into the rising action and the tension. Okay, so here we are on the climb, the third star here, the rising action. These are three main events, usually major events that happen, bang, 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 and are leading up to the climax. They don't have to be three, they can be two, but usually there's a couple of them that all lead to the climax. You can see the climax is the highest point, which is the most suspenseful part of the plot, and this is the turning point for the protagonist's character. Okay, then we have the falling action. It's all downhill after here. Okay, we've got three events or less, again, depending on the story, that sort of unravel everything and put all of the events into place and sort of resolving everything. Okay, and then finally, you have the resolution. What is the end result of all of this falling action? And then at the end of the story, you have the denouement. So that's really, what are we left with? How did things totally wrap up? Okay, that's tightening up of all of the loose ends. All right, does anybody have any questions? So this is a really helpful guide, that one, and I would use that, okay, as well as the PPT, which I will be posting a little bit later to help you. But this really isolates Freytag's pyramid, and you can use this exact one as a model for your assignment, your as learning that you guys are going to do tomorrow. Okay.